All right, hey guys. So we're going to be doing the second half breakdown for the Gamecocks' defense against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Guys, if you like the content I'm doing, please try to like and share and follow the videos or follow my channel. Sharing and liking is very valuable to the growth of the channel. And yes, obviously I want to monetize this and make it a bigger thing. Being able to monetize it will also allow me to do more things for the channel. So if you really like the content, please help me grow the brand. And it's going to go a long way. Obviously, things I'm doing right now are rudimentary. Several weeks back I was using chess pieces. Now, hey, I got my internet installed and I can do videos like I'm doing now, but I would like to be able to do even more, and I don't really have the equipment for it just yet. And so, the more you guys like, share, follow, the more like the better the content is going to get, I promise you. So with no further ado, we're going to get into the second half breakdown, and we're going to start here. The play is going to be a read option play, and what we're going to see here, a big difference from the first half. Once again, somebody gets into the backfield, and this is going to be normal on a read option because it's kind of like chess. It's like the somebody's a pawn here, and they're taking out one of the players or putting one of the players at risk, and then somebody else is gonna, make the move or whatever to take out the pawn, right? I mean, it's slightly different, obviously. The pawn takes himself out by going for the quarterback, right? But that's how the read options work. And so you can't expect the D line to always come up with these plays because, that's how read options are set up. The quarterback is going to read, the defender crashing in and is going to decide whether to keep it or whether to hand the ball off based on where it looks like the defender is going. So, the big difference on this play and why it didn't burn us like some of the other ones is that, as I had said from the first half, the defensive backs weren't getting in quick enough. They were too far back. And I still think they're a little far back, but our defensive back got in here much quicker to help with the play. And so that's going to be very important there because, if those guys don't get in quickly, then we're not going to be able to always count on the D line to blow up the play. And so the defensive back comes in to plug up a hole. The linebacker is able to slide over to plug up another hole, and so they're able to stop this one from breaking as big as they've been. And of course, Zach Pickens always gets back in to get a hand get a hand on the play any chance he can. So, um, our D line didn't get pushed around as I've noted before. It's not like our D line gets pushed around a lot. Those guys are really good. Just sometimes because of look, I mean, you got two down linemen. Uh, one's getting taking a double team here. And this is a counter read option play where you got the pull blockers coming over, so it allowed the O line to double up on one of these guys. So even then, I mean, is he getting pushed a little bit? Sure. I mean, he's got two people on him. He's got two people on him, and that's how strong our D line is, guys. They have to put double teams on these guys to even have a possibility to push them around at all to get them off of the ball or get them off the blocks, or however you want to however you want to say that. They our D line's really strong. I don't know why people keep saying they're not. I keep hearing D line's not that great. They don't do a lot of, and I'm like, man, they're in the backfield like every game. There's just never anybody, the linebackers are never in position, or there's never a spy in the scenarios to clean up the plays. And unless, even Wari, once again, who's pretty close to the play, is there to clean it up a lot of times. There's the play goes bigger. And that's not on the D line. I mean, D line is, sometimes only 3, 4 guys versus 5, 6 blockers at times. And so the linebackers and the defensive backs have to come in and clean up those plays. It's not the D line getting pushed around, folks. They do a lot of pushing. They're in the backfield a lot. They are super disruptive. Uh, I don't know why I keep hearing Zach Pickens' name come up like, oh, Zach's not doing a lot of work. And you go look at some of the metrics on Zach. I mean, he's doing a lot of work. You know, defensive tackles, are rarely the sack machines. They're not as fast as the defensive ends, and they're usually getting these double teams and things unless you have defensive ends that are so scary, like like Jadeveon Clowney was, that they sacrificed the double teams there. And when that happened, Kelsey Qualls used to get a lot of sacks because, hey, they got to go not only to double team up on Clowney, then they realized Devin Taylor was on the other end and they got to go double team on him. And then they realized, crap, this guy Kelsey Qualls is a beast too. I mean, that's what happens. It's not always going to be a sack, guys. The fact that the D linemen are getting into the backfield and disrupting plays is huge. Zach Pickens is definitely the leader in that. He crashes the center of the line a lot, and when the center of the line gets crashed, and I showed that in the first half, that can be huge. So. All right, so the next play, is going to be once again a read option play. I mean, these guys are running the crap out of read option on it, and it's just a lot of read option. And we really need a spy. Now, I can't say that Sherrod Green here isn't a spy, but it looks more like he's probably a man. And the job of a spy is to make sure he doesn't get engaged so that he can be free. And I'm not saying that, a spy can't get blocked. However, a spy shouldn't be, getting so close to the line that he's going to get blocked. The job of the spy is to make sure he stays back a little bit to watch the QB. You know, um, in this particular scenario, the QB, sees these guys crashing in on the running back, so he's going to pull the ball, and there's a lot of open space over here. Could DQ Smith, kind of got back there, and that's what that would have taken without the spy here. It would have taken a bigger play by DQ Smith, to get in there a little bit faster. And this is not me saying this is DQ's fault, okay? This is just that's what it would have taken here, and that's what we're relying on to stop the read option. Is can we get into the backfield to stop it? That's not the best way to defend a read option. If you can get into the backfield and stop it, of course it's very big. You always want to get negative yards plays, but that's not, a consistent. You can't consistently hope that your defensive linemen, your defensive backs, or your linebackers are going to get into the backfield to stop a read option. And this team's been so heavy on the read option. There's you got to play that. They're not hurting us in the passing game. So it makes little sense to me to not have a spy to help start shutting down that read option game. We can sacrifice a person, especially if we're saying, hey, we only got 2 down linemen or 3 down linemen, really only 2. Now, is this another lineman here? Yeah, it looks like, I mean, they're actual linemen, but if they're not in a down lineman kind of situation, they're as good as a linebacker, okay? And so in 2, and especially 3, or especially 2 down linemen, you can sacrifice a guy to be a spy. It's a little harder when you have 4 linemen or whatnot, and technically I think these are 4 defensive linemen. They are. They're just they look like linebackers because they're not in a down formation. And I mean, Gilbert Edmond and, Jordan Burch here, they have the speed and stuff to play, at the linebacker esque position. So that's one reason we see them in those upright positions, is because they have speed and they're trying to use their speed. We got to have a spy sometimes. And once again, I can't say, hey, every play, because then that you start the offense will figure out ways around that. But you got to put them in there enough to deter the quarterback from having the ball. And like I said, if if this is a big if Sherrod Green is a spy here, it doesn't look like it to me, because spy doesn't really move towards the line until he's sure Just the quarterback, until he's going to go make the play. He's got to stay away from these guys so he can go make the play on the quarterback. And you can't tell me that this lineman would have been faster than Sherrod Green. If he is, Sherrod, we need a new linebacker. So, if he was a spy, he would have been able to easily get out over here to contain that edge and not let that guy get by, especially with DQ Smith crashing into the backfield a little bit, because it changes the angle of where the quarterback had to go. Okay, he couldn't just tuck around the corner right there. Sherrod would have had enough time as a spy to shut down that corner. So, anyway, I'm taking a little too much time on this particular play, and I want to move on. All right. This is not really. I mean, could it have been an option to the jet sweep? It could have been, but it didn't look like it, just based on there wasn't like a give pull kind of situation. Like, he never puts the ball into actually looking like it's close enough to the guy to get it. He more of a fake on the jet sweep, just some eye candy to set up the dive here. Guess who's in the backfield? Guess who's in the backfield? Yep, you guessed it. Mr. Zach Pickens. He disrupts a lot of plays. Okay, and you also see the other defensive end getting. I think that's Edmund. Gilbert's doing really good. He was supposed to be. Everybody said his weakness is in run support, but I've seen him making some big plays in the run in run support as well, guys. So that's let's not count Gilbert Edmond out. He's done a fantastic job stepping in, and so is Taka Hemingway, of course. But that goes without saying. But Gilbert was supposed to be not so great at defending the run, and well, he keeps being great at defending the run. So to me, I'm not going to say, hey, he's every play. It's never every play, guys. I mean, once again, we talk about this. The offense has a job to do too, and it's to make plays as well. So, but yeah, I mean, Zach Pickens gets in the backfield yet again and shuts this play down. So, that guy, and that's not, I mean, yes, this is Vanderbilt, but I see this game in and game out. Now, obviously, Zach doesn't always make the play, and I've even said, hey, Zach's got to come up with these plays more sometimes, when he gets into the backfield. But, just the fact that he's in the backfield and disrupting the play is huge. And sometimes he's just going to need more help, to finish the plays. But I will say this, whatever um, has happened more as the season goes on, Zach is getting his hands and making these tackles more and more instead of just getting into the backfield and disrupting it. And it's like still people just don't notice it. I don't know what to say about that. So. Okay, so what do you know? Another read option. I mean, it's play after play after play, read option, okay? And, the D line, I believe this is Hemingway, gets back there and blows up the play. Um, Now, Gilbert Edmond was also on the edge here, so maybe had Mike Wright pulled the ball to keep it, he might have been able to contain him. But for sure, there was no spy here. Okay, I can tell you 100% there's no spy on this play because of the linebacker's reaction here. He's reacting directly to the running back. Okay, he's not spying the QB at all. Okay, so had Mike Wright been able to pull this ball and get past Gilbert, this play might go big for Vanderbilt yet again. I mean, we do have some help coming in from back here, but he's way back there once again. And there's a lot of green over here for Mike Wright, who's a great athlete, to make this play. So we have to keep that in mind. If Taka Hemingway doesn't get this play, if the D lineman didn't get in the backfield and disrupt the read option, it might have broke yet again. And this continues to be my critique here. We cannot rely on our D linemen always getting penetration to stop a read option play. It's obviously going to be a little easier against Vanderbilt, but we got Florida coming up next. And if you think Mike Wright can run the ball, Anthony Richardson's going to, come on. You got to get a spy in here. You've got to get a spy in a lot more frequently. It's got to happen so that these guys can commit to making him hand the ball off, or you know, and allowing the defensive guy, you know, the ends, the tackles, to concentrate on the running back. And or you could do that in reverse, by the way. You could make it so that the spy is concentrating on the running back, and then allowing the you know the defensive linemen to focus on the quarterback. And coming up against Florida, I would probably suggest that more, just because you know the running back is not as dangerous as the quarterback. I mean, even in this game, that's probably the situation. But I mean, spy can be ran, you know, towards the quarterback or the running back. But um, you know, that's neither here nor there right now. But we're gonna need a spy. I mean, I keep telling this. I say this. I've been saying this for weeks and weeks on end. These read options are killing us because we never spy. Um, so this play, you know, we do end up stopping them short, but we do get a personal foul at the end of it. I'm not mad about it because, man, Vanderbilt was, you know, they were playing a little dirty on us. And, you know, I hate that the drive got continued, but I am not singling out our defensive guys for kind of standing up for their other players and stuff in this game. Um, but the issue here, let's take out the personal foul that gave them the first down. They still almost got a first down. It was very close, and it was only made close by, once again, same thing I keep pointing out. Our D back is way back here. There's going to be a lot, and then he's going to back up more. There's a lot of green grass here, and this is Will Shepherd, I believe. I'd have to confirm that. So much empty space, you know. And yeah, we were able to stop him. And look, I mean, there's 2-on-1 over here. We're lucky this didn't break for even more. And there was so much green over here. You know, they just threw it to, you know, a playmaker at this point, and he almost made the play. Okay, you know, you can't allow that guy to get that much space, and have that much space underneath, and then get you know, and then just hope you're going to shut him down after he gets the ball in his hands. You know, if we could get our guys in the space like that, imagine Jaheim Bell, you know, Antoine Wells having that much space to work with. You know, I mean, those guys are playmakers. You know, I mean that's not something, you know, that's what we would hope for on the other side of the ball, is that they're giving us that much space to allow our playmakers to have that kind of room to work with. And it continues to be a hole in our defense, and it's just not getting addressed. This is game after game after game after game after game after game. So, well, I say game after game. I'd have to go back. I really only did these breakdowns for Mizzou and Vandy at this point. Um, and you know, I have to go back and look at other games to say, is it game after game after game? Has this been an occurring theme? It was a little different what I was noticing in some of the earlier games this year, but I will say it's play after play after play through 2 games. And you would think after that many plays, we would start to figure it out a little bit. You cannot give these playmakers this kind of underneath room, this much green grass, and then hope your guys are always going to come up and make a play. I mean, the playmakers make plays for a reason. And at the end of the play, let's look at this. All right, let's see what happens here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I'll be honest, you know, I'd have to hear the whistle, you know. I'm not really gonna fault this one here. I am gonna pick at Zach a little bit, you know. But I mean, Vandy's been chippy with us. I mean, things have been chippy going into the half. You know, this guy, you know, I'm sure the whistle had blown, but these guys are still working. You know, so he's still working, trying to protect his players. You know, I'll give him a little slack on this one. I'm not listening to the whistles and how far after the play this was, but these guys are still working. He's still working. Zach comes up and, you know, hey, I'm gonna smack you in the back here. Oh And and I love Zach. He's hilarious in his press conference. He's like this gentle giant when you hear him talking, but on the field, man, that guy. He doesn't take much crap, and he's there for his teammates. And so that's the thing. I mean, of course, I don't like that they got a first down out of this, but and yeah, I will say I don't think the Vandy player was so much at fault here. He was still playing just like these other guys were still playing. Zach Zach just, I think with the atmosphere and the mood of the way the game was going, Zach felt like that was another cheap shot on one of his buddies, and he's just stepping up for his guy there. And I am not gonna fault him for that because it's not really in Zach's normal, like, it's not normal for Zach. This isn't a game in and game out thing where we see Zach make some error like this where he gets a personal foul, and so he really, I mean, the way Vandy was playing, they were, you know. They were taking some cheap shots at our guys and stuff, and I don't mind Zach trying to stand up for his teammates here. And just to further illustrate the play, you got the replay angle here, and I mean, just watch. I mean, as we're doing this, look at you got two guys out here, and one defender trying to get them in so much just area for them to be in. I mean, DQ did the very best he could, and once again, yeah, we did shut them down short of it, but it just as well could have not been shut down. I mean, honestly, the pass is a little off target. If that pass is a little more on target, Shepard's able to keep his feet on the ground. Okay, and that's going to be a lot harder play for them to have shut down. This possibly would have resulted and a first down one way or the other with a little bit better pass there based on our defensive hole. All right, here we go again. We got a read option, and I've heard, oh well, Birch always crashes inside on the read option or whatnot. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got to make a choice. Gilbert decides not to crash inside, okay, and play the quarterback here, and so the quarterback gives the ball. Okay. And had he had known, hey, I got a spy back there responsible for the quarterback, he could have crashed the running back there. Okay. That spy game is huge. I mean, and we're going to see again, this one's going to break. You know, uh, Once again, I mean, our last line of defense on these plays it seems to always be E-Man. And he just couldn't get in there and make the play this time. He couldn't see exactly where, the running back is behind all the linemen. He can't see exactly which direction the guy is going in. This isn't a video game. He doesn't have video game angles to see exactly where that guy is going. He's trying to see this running back through this pile. He doesn't know that which direction the running back's going in. And then when he figures it out, it's like, oh crap, that's too late. At the same time, if you see Sherrod Green, is Sherrod crashing the right hole here? Does he need to step here? I do keep seeing this from Sherrod, to where it's like, was this the right movement from Sherrod? And this isn't to defend the play calling. I still have issues with not using the spy enough because it takes this stuff out of here. Sherrod is pushing to that side, trying to fill this hole. He didn't need to. The lineman have done a great job of shutting down the center. He needed to be getting over here. Sherrod's kind of, for me, he's missing the hole that he needs to get to frequently, all the way back into the first half. But I mean, once again, you put a spy out there a little bit more frequently, that's gonna help with those. Man, this is getting to be a sad song here. And I didn't really look for a spy this time. Nope, no spy. No spy. There's no spy. I mean, hey, you know what? I'll give Clayton White an opportunity to answer that if he didn't block me on Twitter. And I will be honest with you, I was bringing up stuff before with Clayton White earlier this year, before he blocked me on Twitter. I'm going to talk about this real quick. The guy blocked me on Twitter, and I'm going to tell you, I think it's a little bit that he was homophobic, because the tweet he blocked me, the only time I tagged him on a Twitter, on a tweet, was a compliment to him, Marcus Satterfield, and Coach Beamer. It was a complimentary tweet, so it wasn't an insult of any sort to have been blocked after, and it was the only tweet I had tagged him on ever, and then I got blocked. But I'm gonna say, if he hadn't blocked me on Twitter, and I would tag him again and say, "Hey man, let's talk. Tell me where these spies are. If I'm not seeing them, but please tell me where they are." I'd give him all the chance in the world to explain, "Hey, where are these spies at? We need them. We need spies on these plays." I mean, these guys are running read options so much. We almost need a spy every play right now. I mean, not every play, but a lot. I mean, just you got to put them in there. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. I don't understand the desire. Why we're not. Is it that Clayton just thinks our athletes are so great they're always going to blow up the play? You know, it's not that the guys aren't in the back. Look at there. They're not getting pushed off their blocks. They're penetrating. But these are how the read options work, and there's nobody to clean up the edge. And I've heard our D linemen were getting pushed around, and that's why we gave up so much rushing yards. And please watch this breakdown and show me my D linemen getting pushed around. How frequently those guys got pushed around. I'm a little pissed. I am so tired of our players taking the heat, especially our linemen. And it's been on both sides of the ball, and they're taking heat for things that are not on them. Please go watch some actual film breakdown. Watch the film breakdowns I'm making, and you will see our lines have been solid on both sides of the ball. I can't even like fathom how much blame these guys are taking that's not on them anymore. It's just unreal that these guys are being blamed. The D line is in the backfield, but there's nobody to contain the edge. And once again, they're running read options so much. If you put the spy in there, it allows those edge defenders, like in this situation right here. Let's see where our edge defender goes. He's looking at the quarterback, right? Instead of going for the play on the running back. Okay. So, and I say, oh, well, if it had gone to the running back, maybe, he gets, DQ gets the tackle, but this guy was here to block him. When it has been straight run designs, we've pretty much shut them down because there's no option. There's no read op. When it's not a read option, our guys disrupt the play every time. So I can't go with this like, oh, our D linemen are the issue here at all, at all, at all, at all. Okay, next play is another read option. We're going to be fortunate for me, I think, to make this play. The big difference, too, is going to be how many of our guys came down in the box to do this. This is important here. And I still think the biggest reason we make this play is that Taka Hemingway is able to get some penetration here and change, make the running back have to change his angle. The other defensive lineman here has got enough of an angle on the outside that the running back feels like he's got to try to take this hole. And we had a defensive back already there to plug the hole. Okay, he wasn't way back. We got 4 guys at this point backing our line, which is important because there's 9 of these guys across their line. So, the numbers game, is important here. And of course, this guy's close enough too to assist on the play. I can't see where the receivers are down here. Let's see, there's 9 guys on the line and 2 guys in the backfield. All 11 of their players are in this picture. Why is Darius Rush so far out here, considering how much read option they're burning us with? There's nobody out here to cover. I would have even had, I feel like he should have even been a little closer up here to the line because, Darius is fast enough to get back out into coverage, and he had some safety help here. So, I don't mind there being one safety back this deep if we played these guys, if we're playing these guys a little closer, just to make sure we don't get burned, to have a little safety help, But I mean, is there a spy on this play? Maybe, maybe he's not spying the quarterback. He doesn't always have to be spying the quarterback. He might be spying there. We might have a spy. Could have been zone coverage too, though. And by the looks of where Darius is, it probably was zone coverage. So it could just been that he was in a zone coverage and happened to be right there. Because once again, he is stepping up a little bit too much on the line if he was spying. And typically, the spy is responsible more for the QB. Not always. And as I said, he could be spying, and but that's not what we need. I think we need a QB spy so that the line and the linebackers can concentrate on the running back. Anyway, off of that one, on to the next. All right, so on the previous play, it was that we saw, it was a second down. We were immediately going to actually the first down because we gave up a offsides penalty and it got them. It was a neutral zone and made the offensive player react or whatever. So we got an offsides there, gave them a first down, and we're back to another read option. Now, I'm not going to say, once again, that this is not a spy here, although he is getting close to the line again. That's very close to the line to be a spy. So, I mean, I don't know that he's not a spy, but I don't know that he is a spy. This time, we don't get anybody, our stud Zach isn't able to penetrate through the center. Is Zach even in on this play? I don't even know if Zach picking. Oh, there he is. No, was that Zach? I don't know. We have a different defensive tackling at this point. Probably our guys are getting tired. They've been on the field a lot, having to defend these read options. For whatever reason, Mike Wright's read here says he's going to keep the ball. Maybe he's seeing, the defender coming out here. Most of the plays have gone to the running back, and he knows that the running back's route over here is going to get blocked. And I guess he saw a seam here, saw some blockers here, and decided to keep the ball for himself, and it works out. And once again, there's no other help at this point. We have 4 linemen and 2 linebackers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this guy going to stay in and block? No, yeah, actually he is. He's blocked. He gets he gets inside, and maybe that's what the quarterback was reading there. Is he was seeing that this guy wasn't going to be able to make the block to the outside, and was hoping he was going to be able to get back to the inside. And the numbers there allow them to use this read option. Once again, and without a spy in the play here, it's just so much easier because we don't have anybody to there's no way for see, because right here, if Sherrod could have known for sure 100% certain that the quarterback was going to keep the ball, he could have gotten them, okay, of course, because he's there to make the play. But he has to, he took the outside stance thinking the ball was going to the running back. And, now he can't get back in on the quarterback, And so, hey, beating a dead horse here, I feel like we need a spy. If I haven't said it enough, let me say it again. I feel like we need to put a spy in more often. All right, and it looks like this is a zone coverage once again. So it's not like, these guys that are hanging out back here behind the line, you know, are, are kind of floating. So you can say, well, maybe one of them's a spy, but not really, because the spy usually is in alignment from back here, and he's floating to wherever he sees the quarterback going. So, the spy wouldn't have usually been way over here. Could be, blah blah blah, but usually the spy would be, moved to the center, where the ball is at the time, and then he's following the quarterback. Our guys can't get into the backfield. It's probably, I mean, look at the numbers here. We're getting double teamed on our linemen. The linebackers are trying to, they crash the play. expecting the handoff, which I don't know why. You know, we have a very mobile quarterback here. They crash inside, the quarterback keeps, and he goes to the outside. Personally, I don't know how this wasn't a touchdown already. I don't know how this wasn't reviewed. They didn't review this, and they will score on the very next play. But to me, this was the touchdown right here. I mean, they must have seen something I didn't, you know, and I'm a Gamecock fan, so me saying that is not like a biased thing. I don't know how there wasn't a review on this play, and there was no review. Just they went straight to the next play. And a little bit of that was Vandy's tempo. They went ahead and jumped in. Maybe they would have gotten a review here, but yeah, I was surprised. I'm just going to go and go straight into the next play because there's nothing really to go over. You know, you're this close to the goal line. You know, you see our guys are getting some penetration. They just didn't get it where the hole was. And I mean, they're there. It's not like they got pushed around or pushed off their blocks, you know, or anything like that. They just couldn't. They couldn't get They just couldn't get to them. You know, I mean, there's only 1 yard left to go at this point, and they've been getting killed with this read option. You know, if once again, if there was a spy, if E-Man knew that somebody was backing him up to get the quarterback, then you know he could have crashed on the running back. But he had to wait. You know, he had to wait here. He had to watch and make sure that um, you know Mike Wright wasn't going to keep the ball, and so he couldn't make a play. And here, why do we have two? Is there two? Are there two receivers out here? Let me count their people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe they must have two receivers down here. So okay, that's fine. I was gonna say I can't see the other receivers. So I was gonna say, why do we have two guys out here? You know, are we double teaming one guy in lieu of a team that's been run heavy? So no, that they spread those guys out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10 and 11 must be down here where I can't see them. Anyway, next play. Now, maybe we actually have a spy on this play. And I'm going to tell you why, because just the way our linebacker here is reacting, I believe this might be, actually, that might be DQ Smith. I can't see the number. But this guy kind of, you know, he moves a little bit, you know, in line with where the play is. And then he's waiting, and notice he didn't really come up. He waited back a little bit. And that could be an indicator that we had a spy on this play, which allows these guys, you know, to, you know, now if he was spying, it looks like he's playing the running back specifically. But what the big difference here is if he's playing the running back, however it's working out, you know, he doesn't get caught up. You know, this guy is in here to force, you know, the handoff because if he kept it, he's getting smacked. Um, and our guys didn't get drawn into the pile too much, didn't go try and uh, oversaturate the middle where it was already congested. And I have seen that. You know, they kept their edge a little better this time. We were getting some support coming down from the DB there. You know, so we ended up having numbers on that side. I don't want to give, you know, I'm going to give our players credit for making the play, as you know, of course. But you know, also, you know, maybe their play design just wasn't that good this time. You know, we didn't get, you know, we don't see huge penetration from our linemen here on this play, but it's hard to ask that. Look, they're getting double teamed. They're getting double teamed. You know, I mean, and you got the pull blockers coming around, so it allows for those double teams and stuff. Uh, you know, we ended up with numbers on this side of the field, and we made the play. You know, so this time we're able to make the play. I mean, and you know, thankfully this guy's already starting to crash down on the play. You know, getting closer to the line. So this one was sort of a slow developing read option in some ways, and where it allowed, probably because it's got the pull blocking going on. And to where it allowed our players to get up and close these holes a little better. They were more reactive getting in there, and it could have something to do with their play design as much as anything else. But maybe we had a spy there, but it certainly wasn't spying on the QB. So if he was spying, maybe he was spying the running back in this particular. I mean, that could, like I said, a spy can spy the running back, especially if they're doing read option. The spy doesn't have to be spying the QB. Um, it could just be, it could be that, he's making the read here. It could be that he's just a spy, a spy in general. And then that he sees that he's got, these guys are going to be able to stop the play from going that way. So he knows that he can commit to the other side, So, I mean, read options are difficult to defend. This is a very confusing. I'm gonna have to get some clarification on this one because this is the play where, we already stopped them, but they had after the play there was a penalty for like a unnecessary roughness called on the offense, and it was after the play, so it should be second down here as far as I understand. But it's like they got an extra down out of this, and I have a very hard time understanding how they got the extra, like they got first down all over again after um, a penalty on the offense that's usually I would have thought would have resulted in, um, you know, uh, a loss of down scenario. Because it wasn't when they announced it, they said after the play, unnecessary roughness on the offense, and so after the play means is now second down, and you put that penalty onto that play. I think the refs messed this one up somehow, and I don't know how. Maybe our coaches were arguing it or not. I don't know, but it definitely got, to me, that got missed. And I saw somebody else bring that up on Twitter. Now let's watch the play. I haven't even watched it. This looks like an RPO. I was so caught up about the penalty thing. I can tell you we have no spy on this. Yeah, I mean, read option, these option plays are killing us. Clayton's just gonna have to figure it out. I'm gonna move on. I don't want to, it's just options kill us. Mobile quarterbacks are killing us, and we're gonna have to come up with a better strategy. All right, I'm kind of getting to where I'm skipping through some of the plays. As I said, I might, that I might not even do a second half breakdown. I wanted to see if the issues continued. Man, we're playing a lot of zone this game, and I want to go over this because I feel like Clayton White has just gotten so predictable. He's either man blitzing or man constantly, or he's in zone a lot this game. It's not to me, there's no healthy mix up of what's going on. Now, this is, a passing situation, so it can be played different. And of course, we'll see that, our guys are able to get in there pretty quick and get back there and make flush the quarterback out. But also, you want to talk about lack of a quick game here. Where's the quick slants for these guys? I mean, there's nothing. The quarterback just has nothing available to him. There's no underneath routes. There's nothing going on here against the zone coverage that's allowing them any kind of underneath passes. And yeah, they needed more than they needed 9 yards to get a first down, but you got to have some underneath stuff if you want to open up the deeper stuff. So just there's no available plays to the guy, But our D line obviously did what our D line has been doing. They got in here, they disrupted the play, and did not give him any extra time to find an open receiver or for a receiver to break off the route and come back. The D line just get in there. Who's this running them down? I don't even think Zach Pickens was in on this play. So more often than not, when Zach is in, he's disrupting through the center, which really blows plays up. When your defensive tackle comes through the center of their line, it's one of the most disruptive things. the pocket can form a little bit easier with the edge rushers, crashing versus the defensive tackle. So, well defended by our guys. Like I said, maybe if our defensive linemen once again don't disrupt the play here, well, they didn't get the sack. Dude, it's hard to get sacks on these quarterbacks are fast. Defensive linemen are not as fast as Mike Wright, and that's no offense. That's not an offense to them, okay? I am not trying to offend our guys and go, you're slow. They're defensive linemen. They're not supposed to be as fast. As the what they call the athletes, the playmakers. I mean, defensive linemen are not designed to be fast. They're not, and we have some very athletic, fast D linemen. So, they're just not going to be. Mike Wright's fast. Mike Wright is fast. He's a super fast athlete, okay? So, the fact that they flushed him out. Wait, is that Zach? That is Zach. No, that wasn't. It was Jordan Birch. Those 5s and 6 start to look the same and stuff, as they're blurring through the movement and stuff. So I mean, if our D linemen aren't getting back there and forcing this guy out of the pocket, he's got more time to think and look for a play. He might have made a play. D linemen did their job once again. The zone coverage was there, and they didn't have, for me, they didn't have enough underneath routes. Like if there would have been somebody leaking through into here, they might have been able to make a play. I mean, certainly our guys were defending the line. I still felt like, and if you look at that, there's a lot of green grass in here. I'm sure our defensive backs are just back here behind the line. I'd have liked to have seen them still filling up the hole here in case somebody was, getting an underneath pass. We don't want them to go make a first down. But hey, they didn't get it. We played well. Moving on. Right back to the read option. I don't believe there's a spy here. You see this guy behind the line. He's more reactive to the running back. If he was a spy, he wouldn't really be worried. He wouldn't be waiting to see what the running back's doing or whatnot. He would just be, staying in line with our quarterback here. He wouldn't have been trying to plug up a hole here and worried about the running back. And he could, so he wasn't a spy. And guys, the read option's hard to defend. It's not the line. The holes in the line are all plugged up. He's getting out, they're getting out to the edge a lot more. And we go, our perimeter run game. Well, I mean, guys, it's these read options. It's not straight run game. It's not a toss. This isn't a toss to the edge. This isn't, that's not what's getting us. And read options are very hard to defend. Once again, if you don't add a spy enough. Done with that. Moving on. All right. We're looks like back in the zone coverage again, and while the play doesn't work out for him, we're just very fortunate to the tight end here wasn't leaking out into this area of the field right here. Because I mean, once again, it's a lot of green here. Everybody's reacting to this, everybody going that way. If a tight end would happen to have leaked out in here, this could have been a first down. There wasn't. But there was no zone here. There was a lot of green grass. This doesn't look like man coverage to me. We stopped the play. Moving on. Actually, not moving on real quick. I want to highlight the big thing that disrupts this play. D linemen are getting through. He's just not. If he dropped way back. And look at the numbers on our D linemen. This is even getting double teamed and stuff. These guys have numbers. And watch, man. Zach's like, no. Who is this? Gilbert or one of our, these guys are like, no, we don't care about your numbers. We're getting through here anyway, and we're going to disrupt this play. You give this guy more time, maybe something happens. But our D linemen came through. Once again, our D linemen are not an issue. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the next 3 plays in sequence, okay? This ends up being just a straight run. There's no read option here. And guess what? Boom, penetration. Zach makes the play. Hey, what do you know, okay? You take the read option out. It's our D linemen are having very little very little of a hard time making plays on the straight runs. It's the read option that keeps killing us. Um, Maybe this was a read option too, though. I just let me see. I mean, nah, it looks like a straight dive. I mean, because if it was a read option, Mike Wright would have probably kept that. I mean, because the option for the dive was definitely not there. Mike Wright could have probably got to the outside there, and maybe it was a read option and Mike Wright made the wrong read, but the dive down the center definitely isn't working. Our guys have pinched the center of the line, no problem. So, and then we go to the very next play, and they decide they've got to go for it. It's that point in the game. It's 4th and 1. They go straight. They actually go to a quarterback sneak here. Without the quarterback. Okay, so that was weird. So I guess they have a tight end there that they think is gonna, you know, be the better option for trying to sneak the ball past. Guess what though? Our D line was like, nope, 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 no. But guess what? We had called a timeout. I don't know why. I guess somebody decided we didn't have the numbers or something. They didn't like something. They didn't like the guy in motion. Whatever it was. Our coaches panicked there, called a timeout, gives them another chance at the play, and I guess the Vanderbilt coaches decided, you know what, we just tried to run it down the center twice. It didn't really work, and now that we got a third chance to get this first down, we are going to go back to our read option, and we're going to use a read option here, and boom. Um, the only person who could have made this play to stop the first down was here. I feel like once again he doesn't, he can't crash the play because there's no spy on the play, so he knows he's got to watch for Mike Wright, who's dangerous, and if he knew he had backup to get the quarterback, there was a quarterback spy on the play, then he can just crash in right to the running back and not have to worry that Mike Wright might make the play. That's not how it works out. And so he had, he gave up just enough room for this gentleman to get the first down here. And guess what? That was Jordan Birch. So, the narrative that Jordan Birch always crashes in. Well, he didn't crash in this time. And let's see what happened, I mean, he doesn't crash in. He waits back to see what's up, and Mike Wright, you know, makes the right read here because Jordan hesitates to crash in, and the first down is a result of the play. Okay, people speak in absolutes. Jordan always crashes in. That's the problem. Well, no, that's literally not the problem. The problem is play calling. I'm sorry, I said it yet again. Clayton White has got to do a better job utilizing spies. All right, so on this play, our line, it's not that they're not getting penetration. I mean, they just the drop back here. Basically, Vandy is just dropping back a lot at this point because they're realizing they can't stop our D line from penetrating. So they're just trying to give Mike Wright as much space and as much time as possible to get the ball out of his hands. And so they're just having him drop back further and further now on passing plays. What I'm concerned about, once again, is let's go, is the alignment of our D-backs over here. 1 forward, 2 back. There's this big hole once again. This is where we've gotten burned. Vandy didn't find a way or didn't have a play design for that. I feel like they were trying to, because you're going to see here how this guy is crashing in. What that tells me is they faked a screen here, but the other guy, but the receiver was actually, the other receiver was jetting down the field for the bigger play. Um, and these guys happen to be back and they didn't get the play off. You know, I'd have to see, he looks like he might have even gotten behind our D back there, so maybe a better throw potentially could have worked out for them. But I mean, nothing really to say here. I do continue to worry. Hey, these guys are giving up lots of space all the time. It's so hard to diagnose that in this game at this point because there's been so much read option. Now, obviously, for the tail end of this game, I'll be able to probably see a little bit more passing because they're in a situation they've got to pass more. I'm not really going to fault the play calling here. I mean, if you look, our DBs have definitely moved in closer. They just, our DB up here at the top of the screen where the play is going to end up going just doesn't make the play. It's a crossing route. Uh, the And maybe if this guy, I mean, here's the thing, he is backing away from this, and if he's not giving him this much space and and maybe sticking with him a little bit more, he wouldn't have been able to do the crossing route with having so much space in here. But yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. So I'm not going to fault anybody on this one, not the play calling um, or the DB, because I mean that's going to happen. Their playmakers have to go make plays. He sold his go route really well. He wasn't on a go route, but he sold the go route really well. And DQ uh, kept running in that direction. It gave him just enough space to make a crossing route and get the first down here. Okay, so now we're obviously getting into more passing situations. Will Shepard's going to get left one-on-one with Rush out here. And, I mean, Will Shepard makes the play. I mean, Will Shepard's a playmaker. We know this. And Rush is a great cornerback. So it's not like, you know, uh, it's definitely a zone. And I'm gonna be able to show you why. Because if you watch, yeah, Rush is staying with this guy. And but sometimes when the DB starts up here, their zone floats back, and what you'll see is this guy is coming over to fill up that spot. He's not playing man. There's the same thing on this side of the field as well. So this is a zone, um, and there's just not enough help at this point. And this is where we're going to say, hey, Clayton's time to make an adjustment already, dude. I mean, you got to know at this point the read options are starting to go away. They've got to start passing the ball. They can't run it as much. I mean, that's difficult. You've been defending read option, defending read option, defending read option. They've decided, hey, we got to start airing it out, and and now they do, and so it's hard to fault anything here. Let's see how long this goes before we make some adjustments. And we do know that um, they score here, or I think on this drive, and we know they're going to score again. We know what the final score was. So anyway, I'm not faulting Rush here. I mean, it's not like he's way off. He's just behind the receiver here. Um, he's right there for the play. The pass is just perfect, and the catch is made. I mean, the playmakers are going to do that sometimes, guys. We say this all the time. All right, so the next play here, once again, a utilization of a spy becomes huge because you got a mobile quarterback. They are passing more. There's more passing, more passing, more passing. And we see a lot of zone here. This guy's so far back, and this is a critique now, and I will say this. When we have the lead late in the game, Clayton White starts playing a lot softer and giving up even more green than we've already talked about and allowing a lot of underneath stuff. You got to keep your foot on the accelerator at least a little bit. Don't let these guys get back in the game. And that's, I've said this in other games too, watching it, and obviously Mike Wright doesn't see anybody open downfield because there wasn't. I mean, because all of our guys played so far back, and then he makes the play with his feet, and there was nobody spying on him to stop him from doing that. We got to have spies to stop these mobile quarterbacks. I can only say that so many times. You can't rely on your guys to be in zone coverage and see that the quarterback's going to leak out of the backfield. Um, you know, uh, to Mike Wright's credit, hey, there's no receivers open. There's no routes that allow any underneath. They're trying to make big plays and get back in the game. It's a little bit of poor coaching on Vanderbilt's part, because you want to get back in the game. You can't just sell out to deep passes. Your pass play, your play. If your plays start to become obvious, you're not going to get there either. So let's keep breaking this down. Going forward, I'm going to move quick, a little bit quicker. Try to move a little quicker now. All right, so obviously it's this was a 1st and 5. I think we gave up an offside or something here and gave them a 1st and 5, even though the little indicator here made it look like it was a 10-yard. It was a 1st and 10. It was a 1st and 5 here. I believe. Maybe we'll find out I'm wrong on the next play. To Clayton White's credit, he's giving up space here. Okay, but he's going to fill it up quickly. This guy's going to be stepping up, and that's how zone coverages can work sometimes. So he's starting to take away the space on this play. He took away the underneaths. He left enough guys close enough to take away these underneath. Maybe they need to be a little bit closer in to even potentially shut this play down, because we can't give them. We can't afford to give them anything and then let them go make a play. But, yeah, we've got a 17-point lead, but those can vanish quick. Those can vanish quick when the teams start getting, high tempo and desperate. Things start happening. You gotta be careful with that. But yeah, I mean, great. Everything was great here. I'm not gonna complain. And this is the fun. This is the find some joy play. We did something. We shut the play down. All right, I'm gonna find some joy here. Right, I'm gonna find some joy here. Let's look at our D line real quick. And they're not getting huge penetration here, but they're pushing the pocket back, and they're not gonna have a lot of time, and they didn't really give Mike Wright too much of a. They contained him and didn't give him anywhere to scramble out to. To note on this play, obviously our DB over here is back again, giving a lot of space to this guy. It looks like we're on a safety blitz here. Nothing really to do here. I mean, you're one of your best cornerbacks is on one of the top receivers in the nation. And they're one-on-one, and it's a quick slant. Take note, Marcus Satterfield, to an empty area of the field. I have a feeling that even had this guy not been blitzing, that play was going there one way or the other, because if you watch Mike Wright's eyes, he is not going to look anywhere else. He is waiting for Will Shepherd, to make his move here. I mean, and sometimes that's the play. Try to get the ball to your playmaker. Try to throw it in the direction of your playmaker, and whatever else these other guys are doing are probably irrelevant. This is where I'm going to now once again critique Clayton White, because the other thing that I never see Clayton White do is double teams. Okay, I never see him double teaming on receivers that are burning us. He just keeps letting that receiver burn us. Going into the Tennessee game, that's going to be huge, because they got Hyatt on there and he's burning everybody. You're going to have to shut that guy down. Honestly, I don't think Hendon Hooker this year without Hyatt. And so forgive me, I don't remember that young man's first name. Is it Mike Hyatt? Maybe I just Hyatt. I know it's Hyatt, and I do not see Clayton White use double teams like ever on these playmakers that are burning us. You're gonna have to do a double team here and there, just to make the offense go, okay, they're doubling up on our guy. We're gonna have to design something else to somebody else, before we can come back to our playmaker again. But consistently, when one person starts making plays, it went back to Missouri. I said this in Missouri. Lovett was killing us, and there was never a double team on him. And what would a double team have done here? If we had a double team on Shepard here, Darius wouldn't have had to worry about whether or not Shepard was going to burn him deep. He could have one guy could have been playing to contain him from going inside on the slant, and Darius could have been containing him from the deep route. So you also need double teams at times, and I have not seen double teams. Okay, so that's going to be another thing that we're going to need to see in games where there's a wide receiver that's a playmaker that's burning us. Okay, you've got to go shut down the playmakers when they're making plays. This is super important. You got to get the ball out of those guys' hands when they're burning us play after play, and that's starting to happen with Shepard. And that's not a negative to Darius Rush. He's a great cornerback. Shepard's a really good receiver. He's a really good receiver. Good receivers, are going to make plays, and you got to find a way to shut those guys down. Okay. We're gonna run through this one real quick because I put this on Twitter. Shepard plays a little dirty, and I don't know how many of these things he might have gotten away with because I can't always see what's going on a play. This is a totally missed call. Okay, and we'll show the replay angle. Darius Rush gets called for a holding here, basically like a pass interference, but it's a holding. And then the replay angle is going to be the telltale here for us. Watch the replay angle. Immediately, watch Will Shepard. He pulls Darius Rush's face mask down. Darius never even grabs him. Darius doesn't hold here at all. There's no holding on Darius Rush. He doesn't even grab him at all. Manages to get back, into the play. Well, I guess it's just an overthrow. We're lucky that the throw was an overthrow. And then Will Shepard even sells it. Watch him. He goes, he asked for a flag here. He asked for a flag here. Watch him. You'll see him raise his hand a little bit, saying, "Hey, where's my flag?" He just sells it to the ref. I don't think the ref saw crap. He obviously didn't see crap because Will Shepard did the foul here. He pulls his face mask down. Jeez, man, whatever. All right, so after the penalty, the next two plays I'm gonna go over them real fast. This one just doesn't work out. Let's watch. Let's see. We send a couple of linemen, then we got a delayed blitz coming there. Maybe this guy was spying. If he was, I don't like that he decided to crash late because Wright could have easily escaped the pocket there. I don't think he's. No, it's a delayed blitz, I guess. Or maybe he was in some sort of man and his guy was in the backfield still, so he was able to blitz. That's sometimes a thing. Because they got a tight end in there blocking. So if he was in man, then he's able to blitz after he realizes his man isn't coming out. So that's nothing wrong there. We defend this one. There's nobody open. All right, and that's usually the case for us. If it's passing situations, we do pretty well usually. I see that we're playing more man all of a sudden, where we've been playing a lot of zone. Which is we've been playing zone against the read option all day, and then now we're playing man against the I guess because he thinks they're passing more. So. And then the next play they do score, and I'm not going to put any fault anywhere. This isn't it ends up being a really good play design here. Actually, we needed to shut them down well before they got here. We needed to shut them down earlier in this drive. We didn't. You'll see that these guys are all covering over here. They're in this, and it's a kind of misdirection kind of play here for them to where they're sending all three of these guys across the field and making these guys, our defenders, react to them there. The running back comes out of the backfield. Okay. Don't know who was responsible for him here. If these guys were in zone, then they crashed too far over, didn't keep their zone. If they were in man, I don't know who was supposed to cover this guy on the man. Obviously, our defense is in the backfield here, but they make the play. I mean, this is just one of those good plays. And hey, it's a swing pass. You know, they don't work, right? Those don't work. You know, I'm picking at the Satterfield naysayers. I mean, you can't overdo them, of course, and I don't want to give them too much of defense. But I mean, you know, swing passes do work. Swing passes to the halfback work. You know, it depends on the play call and how the defense defends them. You know, basically they did an ISO play here. You know, they set it up to where they cleared out the field and let a playmaker go make a play. It was a good play by them. I'm not gonna harp the defense too much. All right, this play we got 3 linemen creating pressure. They're getting double teamed and creating pressure. Heck, Zach's getting triple teamed. You know, which is allowing our edge rushers to be one-on-one and make, you know, and create pressure and make them have to rush the play and they get nothing out of it. What? I mean, dude, Zach is such a beast that they're gonna leave their offensive tackles and one-on-ones with our really good defensive ends because, you know, they gotta put more numbers on Zach. Just saying. Zach is a beast. All right, so they got a roughing the passer on that last play after we stopped him. I don't even agree with it. Sometimes I feel like the officials, I don't want to say the game's rigged, but sometimes I feel like the officials are just trying to keep the game interesting. It wasn't a very obvious roughing the passer. It certainly wasn't a targeting call. Um, you know, I'm not going to go back and replay it. We're on to the next play. It was 1st and 10 again, even though I don't think it should have been. Guess what? Same exact scenario. Watch. 3 guys on Zach Pickens, you know. And they're
5 to play. That'll move it out to the 35-yard line.
They're keeping the running back now. You know, no, he's actually going on a route. He had a delay route. But the D-ends are coming in, and they're allowed to do that a lot more. You know, a lot
to play. That'll move it out to the 35-yard line.
They're having to double and triple team Zach. Right at the end of this, you know, you see this guy is like, okay, well, we got Zach under control. I'm gonna try to help on Gilbert, which is way too late. Then over here, Jordan is he's like, nah, man, get off me, you know. So our defense just keeps disrupting these plays. Next play, we're gonna go through this quickly. Once again, our D-line is getting lots of pressure. They have a route here, a little
4
route, you know, that comes in under the zone. You know, it's hard to put a lot of fault necessarily in the play call. I mean, our guys aren't way back. They're not giving up too much room. But we, you know, I feel like we're predictable. You know, it's like center of the field, we're in zone in this game, and he switches the man when we get to the closer to the, like in the red zone, and then we switch to man. You know,
Cox bringing 4.
I feel like Clayton calls like back to back, same kind of play. Like, oh, it's zone over and over and over again. You know, it's not zone, man, zone. Yo, you got to mix that up. You know, play by play. Just to throw the offense off. So, you know, overall, not a bad
Gamecocks bringing,
you know, on anybody.
4.
Just, you know, they found the hole in the zone, and not like the same hole I was talking about, you know, where there was an obvious hole because the defensive backs were too far back at the beginning of the play. They just, you know, it is what it is on this one.
I believe South Carolina had to burn 3 timeouts earlier in
over of
D-line is getting penetration.
the game for
just 3 guys.
South Carolina.
Triple teaming on Zach again. Here you go. Hey, Zach's the place. Zach's getting triple teamed, man. Because he's been disrupting them all day. They're literally having to have 3 guys defend the kid, okay? Come on. There's no spy.
Mike Wright.
Of course, Mike's
he slides down. We'll get up.
yards, but that's it. I mean, the zone coverage was there enough. And
South Carolina. Here's Mike Wright.
Moving on.
Oh, that one's.
All right, the biggest thing that saved us on this play, because our defensive backs are way back. They're giving up a lot of room here. Okay, they're in the zone coverage. This running back could have come out of the backfield potentially and made a play. If this guy would have stopped in the zone here, if their play design was there, it looks like we have one over here. The only thing that really saved us is our D-line has been pressuring the crap out of this guy. He doesn't feel like he has enough time. He can't afford to keep trying to scramble like he did on the last play, even though he had enough room to do so. There was no spy to have stopped him. At this point in the game, we're just lucky that they're running out of time and they're panicked, because honestly, I'm still not happy with how we're defending. But hey, whatever, we did defend it. That's neither here nor there. It was defended. I'm going to go ahead and go into the next play because I know exactly.
Well, that just hit.
It was almost.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
I felt like we allowed these guys to stay in way too long.
One is intercepted.
Way too long.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
Yeah. Jordan Birch breaks through his double team.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
No, Taka Hemingway. So they didn't have to double team because it wasn't Zach. They didn't have to double and triple team on Zach. So
they're just dropping in the hook zone.
Edge guys because they're beating them. So still, Jordan busts through. Nice spin move there, and steps up in the pocket, and tries to deliver a throw. I don't know where to, why. I mean, he probably had better options somewhere in the field.
That one,
but
is it?
Aren't the options
Intercept.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
He didn't have to rush this. Like I said, at this point, a big reason that we're able to make these plays is they're just running out of time. They were desperate at this point, and Mike Wright's not Bryce Young or anybody like that. And that's not to say Mike Wright is not a talented young man. He's certainly an athlete. And I'm gonna finish this up. I'll just let this play.
That one is intercepted.
Final thoughts in a second.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
Same as the first hit.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
Like I said, if these guys had a little more time to work with,
that one is intercepted.
They started passing the ball early.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
Because they started passing. I don't find fault.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
He also just dropped 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
It's not going to be easier.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
As much as Anthony Richardson is inconsistent, he's been more
that one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
They are getting lots of points.
That one is intercepted.
Oh, they didn't do well against LSU.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
I'd have to go and see. Going to go see.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts about this.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
I am the person that's
that one is intercepted.
At least from my perspective, hey, you know, people might come and say,
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
You didn't even play in high school.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Gamecocks football. Honest.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
I was the guy. I said guy.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Just the person. But I was the one.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Things being blamed on our D-line and not doing this or doing that.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
I'm going to point fingers where they're wrong.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Saying, I always been saying.
That one is intercepted.
Easy thing. I get blocked by a coach.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Get blocked by a player because Spencer Rattler.
That one is intercepted.
Hey.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
But especially after
that one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
You probably saw one tweet I put out that was questioning something and then didn't notice
that one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
Anyway,
that one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted.
Yeltsin just dropped 8 coverage. This is dropping in the hook zone.